Morning, everybody. This is Vincent Meza, Listings to Leads, and we're going to be talking about Facebook and Google ads. All right. A lot of new people just got on the call while we are waiting to start the class. So I want to remind everybody, there is a section in the GoToMeeting kind of navigation tab, and it's called Handouts. And there are 2 handouts. I recommend that you open them both and download them both and print them both. One of them that we're going to be looking at today is Facebook and Google ads. So we'll look at this in a minute. Okay. Now, I also want to remind everybody, I just said it a moment ago, but I can still see people coming in. The focus of this class is how to run ads on Facebook, how to run ads on Google. I'm going to go down my story, but I really want to know what it is that you're looking for, right? Are you looking for new construction leads? Are you looking for buyers? Are you looking for sellers? Or is there something totally different? I definitely talk to agents every day, and I know they often have things that, they're trying to do, and they want to know what's the best way to do it. And so if you've got something unusual, toss it in the chat panel there. But let's get into, before we talk about that stuff, let's just start high level about listings to leads, right? We're a real estate advertising platform. We're designed to help realtors advertise, help you get buyer leads, help you get seller leads, and help you with social media. Now, when it comes to running ads on Facebook and Google, which is the point of this class, it's incredibly easy and also, I think, very powerful. You'll see in the technology that I'm going to show you, it just takes a couple clicks to create an ad. But when you're looking for buyers, you can use Facebook and get buyer leads really fast and very cheaply. When you're looking for seller leads, you can get seller leads pretty easily from Facebook. You can also get them from Google, and Google is actually a really smart place to be focused on if you're trying to get more listings, right? They are more expensive, but we're going to get into that. But before we get into all that, I want to talk a little bit about the resources that are available to everybody to learn more about what we have, right? So first, in a live class like this, and if you're not familiar with this page, leadgenwebinars.com is where you can sign up for all the classes that I do. And I'll show you where Scott does some other classes, but I do Facebook and Google ads, Get Started, which is really an overview of the whole platform, listings to leads for lenders, and also top tools for more listings. Now, as a reminder, I told everybody there's a handout section on this GoToMeeting chat panel. There are 2 flyers in there. Please print them both and leave them on your desk. These are the cheat sheets that I built for you so that you have a good visual reminder of things you need to go to. We're going to look at the one related to this class in just a minute. Sign up for live classes right here. I always do mine at 11 a.m. on Monday and on Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific. So if that doesn't work for you, I also record every class, including this class, right? And I put them here. And Scott also does some other classes that I definitely recommend that you look at. But if you go here, you will see that here's Get Started here. Here's Listings Leads for Lenders. Here's top tools for more listings. And here's Facebook and Google. Now, I've been training on Facebook and Google ads since Facebook developed a ad platform. So I'm pretty familiar with it. And to me, it seems relatively easy. When you see what we're doing, you'll see that we make it very easy. But I do want to point out that with the NAR settlement out there, baking into the industry, I think most of you are starting to think more about listings. And we'll definitely talk about how to get listings with ads, right? But there's a class here, Top Tools for More Listings up here, and I do it every 2 weeks. I really recommend that you all watch 2 or 3 of those. If you're a new client, or even if you're an older client, because I talk to our long-term clients who don't use half of our tools, but you want to use those tools that are going to help you get listings. And they are on the document that I asked you to download here, right? So that's our YouTube channel, right? And I'll close that. And I want to also tell you there's another resource, which is this mastermind group on Facebook. It's a private group. So it's for our clients only. And if you are a client and you're not in it, go to the support page inside of Listings to Leads and ask them to get you in the account. It's where Scott and I talk about new technology that's coming. we're pretty excited. We've got AI text follow up coming. And so we're in beta test now. But there's something here that I wanted to, I was just scanning this before we started the call. And this lady says, hey, I signed up a few months ago and haven't done a thing with it. I'm considering canceling, but I just want to hear some success stories, right? What I need to see is good ROI. And there was one thing here that I wanted to just point out. And he says, I've been with L2L since 2014. It has produced hundreds of thousands of dollars in my business. It's the core of my listing presentation. IMO, I'm not sure what that means. It's, in my opinion, it's the best monthly expense in my business. And that's great. And I'm glad to see our clients figuring that out. A lot of our clients do figure that out, but there are many clients just like Amy that don't bother to log in, don't bother to get on a class like this. And we charge them $60 a month. That's really not what we want to be doing as a business. We want people to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Just like Ken there. Check out our YouTube channel, like I said, and use those tools. And on the 2 handouts that are in this GoToMeeting chat panel, follow those handouts, right? One is top tools for more listings. If you want more listings, guess what? Those are the tools to be using. If you want to use Facebook and Google, we want to be looking at this. And this is one of the flyers that I've asked you to print. Okay. And it says, I'm just going to read through it so we get an understanding of what it is that you can do here. So for Facebook, you want to connect your Facebook ad account. So when you're running ads, it's going to show sponsored by your business page. So that's why it affects your branding. And it says your branding, your own leads. When we're generating leads, in case you don't understand this, I think Zillow, it's a long story. If you're paying them for leads, they're selling them to 3 other agents at the very same time. We're not doing that, right? If you're using our tools and you're putting them wherever you want to put them, those leads that you capture only go to you. Okay. That's just how it is. So it's very straightforward. If you're running ads on Facebook and it's branded to your business page, it's your branding only, right? It's not some random website that we've created gathering leads anonymously. It's you building your brand and capturing leads at the same time on Facebook. Now here it says run early status listing ads for buyer leads, right? So early status means coming soon, just listed, active. These are early status. Later status, like just sold or pending or under contract, they're going to get seller leads. And that's one of the easiest ways of getting seller leads is to run ads. I think the best way is, or the easiest is just sold ads, right? But under contract and pending ads also have the call to actions and the language to get you listing leads on Facebook. And then you can run PDF guide ads. And I'm going to show you all these things in the platform below. I just want you to see. You have 80 PDF guides branded to you on every page in the system. 40 are for home buyers and 40 are for home sellers. There are many things you can do with them. You can share them. You can take a link. You can get them out. You can print them. We can have us share them automatically to your social media accounts, but you can also run ads on Facebook and on Google. And our clients do both, and they get both buyer leads and seller leads from those, right? And then it says customize your landing pages, make them local, and create custom audiences to get high quality listing leads. This statement here about Facebook, I'll try to get into later. It's a little bit techy, not too techy, but it's, I think, one of the most important things you're going to need to do to be competitive in real estate, right? And that is to get a list of homeowners, buy it from a third party like Remine or RedX or ListSource or Cole Resource, or call your title partner and get a list and upload it through our platform so it lives in your ad manager on Facebook. And if your core town was St. Louis, you would get people that own a home in St. Louis for more than 5 years, upload it to Facebook, and you target them with Facebook. Right. You may also use that for print and use that same list and mail things that are relevant to them as homeowners as well. And then you can also have email. So all that you can do. And that's really where the concept of farming is I cover in the other class, which is top tools for more listing. So that's Facebook. And I'm reading it here so you can get just a high level idea, but we're going to go look at everything. So you'll see. Then it says Google. Number one website on the internet, high quality listing leads, definitely. More expensive leads than Facebook for sure, right? You can use seller PDF guides or home valuation landing pages to generate those ads on Google, right? So Google's a lot more straightforward. I don't typically recommend driving people, trying to find buyers with Google. I think if you want buyers, and we're going to go look at it in just a second, it's Facebook is the slam dunk. It works really well. So I asked everybody, and I see more people have been coming on the call. If you want to put in the chat panel what it is you're looking for with that. Are you looking for buyers? Are you looking for sellers? Are you looking for something special? Let's put that in there. Suzanne says seller leads. Yeah. And so does Robert. And Monique says, you need more buyer leads with the correct kind of marketing. Monique, what does that mean? We're definitely going to talk about how to get seller leads, but what does the correct kind of marketing mean to you? And while she's throwing that answer in there, let's go into listings to leads and talk about where you can do all this. Okay. So one thing that we've been working on over the summer, which I am really excited about, is our dashboard. Okay. So when you log in, you always land on the dashboard here. And I want you to become very familiar with it because we're still going to make some improvements. And really the question that I asked and the question that you're answering is, some of you want buyer leads and some of you want seller leads. Okay. So up here, you can click on buyer leads or seller leads. Let's do buyer leads first, because I think buyer leads, I want to be really straightforward with you about that. If you click on generate buyer leads, all the ways to capture buyer leads from your toolkit, from your listings are on this page. It starts with ads. So you could create an ad on Facebook on a listing ad, right? And if I click that, let's see how this works. It's only going to show me the listings that generate buyer leads. Okay. And that would be open house, coming soon, just listed, or just plain for sale. Right. So we'll dive into it in a moment, like the full on steps through it. If I click on create Facebook ad for landing page, there's down payer assistance. That would be for a buyer. These are custom landing pages that we've created for buyers. So you can create custom landing pages and then they would be teed up for you to run ads on Facebook, just like I'm doing right now. Right. And then there's also a new construction landing page, which is always designed for you. Everybody gets that by default. You can customize it or you can just use it generically. I think customizing is always smart. And then there's PDF guides. So remember I said there are 80 PDF guides and I said that 40 are for buyers and 40 are for sellers. Since we've got the generate buyer leads tab highlighted, when you click this, it's only going to show you the PDF guides for buyers. Okay. And so there are 40. When you sign up, you're putting your picture, you're putting your logo, you're putting your company colors, all that's flowing through every page of this, every page of every one of these 80 deals. In this case, there are 40. And you could say, hey, I want to run an ad on buying new construction. I wouldn't do that. I'm going to, and here's rent to own. And so there's just other things. So you can run PDF guides. You can use landing pages, but I do want to be very straightforward with you. Now I'm going to go look at the answer. I think that Monique has written us, but let's just get to the point. If you need buyer leads, you need to get a listing that is for sale or open house inside of this system. You need to leave that button right there, that default setting of lead ads, and click this button here that says create ad. Okay. And I'm going to create an ad and it's pre-written. It's going to be sponsored by your business page up here. It's going to be directing at your city where the home is. This one's in Granite Bay. So it's saying Granite Bay. It's also saying a 15-mile radius. Now, I don't know where you are, but you might want to expand that radius, 30 miles, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, right? If there's anything that's not showing, because we're pulling just some simple text here from the MLS, you might want to just click in the box and tell people what's really special, right? About this home. Maybe you got a new granite kitchen, maybe, who knows, right? New, whatever, wine cellar, big ranch or something like that. You can type that right there. And to make this thing live, you click that green button. Okay. It's very easy to run ads on Facebook with our platform. And what we're doing right here is running an ad that's for sale or coming soon or just listed, and it's going to get buyer leads. Now, there's a couple things I want to point out here that you should understand. That I've got a $35 budget. Okay. And that's our default setting. On average, buyer leads cost $3 each from Facebook. So if they're charging you $3 per lead, you can divide 3 into 35 and expect about 11 or 12 leads. Okay. This ad will run for 7 days. And if I do want to point out something about 11 leads. If you closed one of those leads, you're closing at nearly a 10% conversion rate. Does that make sense? And if you know anything about online lead generation, you probably know that the average conversion rate is 1%, 1 to 3%, right? So if you're generating 10 leads and you convert one, you are really outperforming all your peers, right? You're converting at 10%. I don't think all of you convert at 10%. And the reason why conversion is at 1% is that the quality of the lead is not necessarily the highest, right? I don't want to discourage you. We have a lot of clients getting a lot of business from Facebook ads, but you have to really know, I'm not going to I'm not going to generate hundreds of thousands of business from one Facebook ad, right? You have to use many tools, get things out, multiple ads, stuff like that. And what I'm getting at is if I change this number to, and you wouldn't do this, but just so we understand, if I change this to $330 for 7 days, I would generate 100 leads because each lead costs $3, right? Oh, actually, I'm sorry. It's $300. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. I had a long vacation, right? $300 should generate you 100 leads. And if you convert at the national kind of average, that's 1%. That would be one deal, right? That would be one buyer that you would close. Now, I actually think some of our clients close, and I know that many of our clients, we have a client who converts at 4%, 5%, right? And so if you've got 100 leads and he's converting at 4%, I'll go show you this right now. That means, I don't know what the commission is for, let's just go look at it so you don't have to hear me talk through this. Brian here, I set up the office and team accounts around the country and in Canada. And Brian, I set up over a year ago for his office at LPT. And so all of his agents have access. And he made a little video here to tell his agents like, hey, this is what's going on, right? And what he's telling his agents is that he had a house in Conroe, Texas, and he ran ads on it and generated 114 buyer leads. 114. He converted 4. So 4 people bought houses. To generate 114 buyer leads cost you about $350. But I'm pretty sure the commission on 4 home purchases is more than $350, right? So he's happy. He's sharing this video with his team, and he also shares it with us. The second half of this video, he's saying, hey, this thing is sold now. So I flip the property is sold and I run the ad as sold, and we get a listing lead and I convert it that day into a phone call. It turns into a listing presentation. This gentleman wants to sell a home for 400 grand and buy another one for 450 with $150 ad. Okay. His name is Brian Mathewson. He's inside the Mastermind group. If you're a client, just look for his name and you can listen to him say that, right? But that's him, and he converts at 4%, right? He has a different technique of converting, and it's outperforming. That's like pretty awesome. But before I go further, I just want to explain to you where that ad's going, because a lot of you don't quite know what's going on. When you run an ad, this is Facebook right here. When you run an ad, that ad shows up right here in the newsfeed. And on Facebook, I think it's 70% of American adults, not teenagers, spend about 40 minutes a day looking at the nonsense that's on Facebook, seeing what their friends are doing, seeing what they're eating, seeing what their grandchildren are doing. Here's an ad from a local restaurant, and your open house ad could be right here. And when you click on it, our software is going to grab their name, email, and phone number from their profile. They don't even have to type it in. And so that's really the value of Facebook, right? It's that people are hanging out, adults are hanging out, and you can log something like, hey, you want to find out your home value? You want to, this home just sold and that's going to affect your stuff and whatever. Yeah, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff on Facebook, right? That's why it's so effective to run ads. But just like I was scrolling through and I can see burritos and I can see whatever nonsense, I didn't go there looking for real estate. You just happened to run an ad and it was relevant to me at that time. So they are not the highest quality lead, but they are certainly, as Brian tells us in that call, he converts 4 out of 114 leads, right? So I just want to give you that's a big roundabout way of saying that the default setting is $35. That's going to get you 10 or 11 leads, but you're going to need more leads if you want to convert them into business, right? Business is where you get a commission. So that's the point there. There's another big deal here that I want to talk about. And this really is important we have a lot of clients in Florida. We have a lot of clients in Texas and the southern states, and things are slow. Buyers are not really jumping in real fast. So you might want to be targeting other areas. You might also just own a home in a second home area, right? Like Myrtle Beach. We have office clients in Myrtle Beach, right? And there are people in other cities that want to buy a home out there to hang out for the weekends. But it doesn't matter wherever you are. I even have clients in Southern Florida who are running ads and they're targeting people in Colombia, the country that's collapsing, because those people are trying to get out of there and they need a place to go. And they're just typing in that location, Colombia, just buy my condo in Miami, right? But if you've got a condo in Naples and nobody wants to buy it in the neighborhood, you could target people in New York, in Newport Beach, California, or Chicago, or other areas where you know people are coming from. Now, these are just the Florida stories that I'm telling you. Around the country, there are a lot of people who are moving from a big city to a small city, right? And so you can target your locations like that as well. Advanced options, you don't need to worry about advanced options. You don't. The simplest thing I want to tell you is if you want buyer leads, running Facebook ads is the way to go on homes that are for sale, coming soon, open house. So let's see if we got that answer from me. Okay. How do I get more people to see my Facebook business page? Okay, that's good. Is there audio? Yeah, everybody can hear me. I feel I need more specific with the type of ads I'm running to target buyers. Monique, I don't know why that is. Why is that? Well, what's not working for you? What's not? What I'm showing you right here is working for clients right now. Now, Akshat is in Canada. I ran a buyer listing out on Facebook. I only got one lead for 20 Canadian dollars. What's a solution in Alberta? I don't know why that's expensive for a lead. This is the solution. What I'm showing you right here is I have lots of clients in Canada. And sometimes when I tell you in the US, it's average $3, I have clients paying $2, $4, $7 for a buyer lead. It is a national average. It is not, Facebook does not set a price and says, hey, everybody, you want buyer leads on Facebook? $3. No, that's not what they're doing. It's actually the pricing is set on by auction. Okay. And so if you've got 2 agents competing in your market, your cost is going to be lower. If you've got 20,000 competing in your market, your cost is going to be higher. All right. Let's see if we have more questions here. Okay. I'm currently on street text thinking about switching. Thoughts? John, that's great. I have a lot of people coming to us from your demo. Answer exactly what I was asking. When I'm running them on Facebook, I feel either I don't get to run them long enough or I may not be getting enough visibility. Okay. You definitely want to be running. I think you want to run things on Facebook about our default settings are 7 days. Some people will tell you run them for 5 days. Don't run an ad for less than 2 days. I've had a few people tell me you run it for 1 day and you get lots of leads. You can test these things out, but the dollar value is what really shapes how many leads you're going to get. And then actually, should I target some other nearby locations or should I keep running the ad a little longer? And what is it actually that you're doing? Is it a home? Is it a home that's for sale? And I will tell you this, one thing, and I'm sure you've heard this if you've been in the industry for a while, the quality of those photos and the visual of that home it's going to determine the success of the ad, right? If you have a shabby home, and we have shabby homes in the system, right? We got mobile homes and stuff. It's a home, yeah. So if it looks good, it should be performing well. Like this is a good looking home, nice pool, stuff like that. Notice that this has multiple images in it. Are you using a static image? Actually, that can be a factor. And let me show you. I forgot to mention that. So thank you for asking this question. There's one thing that I think there's a couple things that make ads work really well. This is an open house. And right here is a button that says change image and video, right? And if I click that, it's going to show me all of the images for this home. And you can choose multiple images. Maybe you want an image of the kitchen, of the living room, of the backyard, right? Maybe you got some kind of wine cellar kind of thing. When you click that and upload it, you should obviously have a picture of the front of the house. This becomes a carousel ad, and this can be a more effective ad. So actually, you might want to stop your ad and create a carousel ad. You might get better results. Also here, and just as a FYI, if you want, notice my mouse over here turns into an X, a cross. You can click on this and change the order so that maybe you want to start with the backyard, right? Which you don't, but I'm just showing you how it works. You can also put a video here. So if any of you are investing in video, like you're paying a videographer about this home, put it on your computer and upload it, and it'll remove these static images and put that video in there, and your lead costs will drop and your lead generation will go up. Leads or ads with video always outperform ads with photographs. So let's see here. We've got more questions. No, there is not an option for a 3-way split test, Johnny. No, you just have to do one separately, one at a time. Okay. We've only talked about buyer leads, and that's really slow. Back here on the dashboard, when we click buyer leads, we talked about creating ads and all the ways to create ads. I don't really recommend using Google for getting buyer leads. So let's talk about how to get seller leads. All right. Go right here. And we're still in the dashboard. And when you log in, you're going to be right here. There are lots of ways to get seller leads. I will tell you, when you have a home that's in pending or sold, if you click market listing, there's like a half dozen things you can do to get seller leads. Our focus here is using ads. So we're going to not really go down here, but there are many ways when you click market for free home values, marketing tools, 100-point plan, iBuyer. These are tools. These are all the PDF guides for sellers, right? Don't forget, there are 40 of these for homeowners. Lots of ways to market them. So use them if you want more listings, but we're going to focus on ads. And so we just do that right here. If I click create a Facebook ad for a listing, it's only going to show me the listings that would get me more listings. And that's pending or sold or under contract. So I'm going to do this one here that's sold. I'm going to leave it on lead ads, and please leave it on lead ads if you like pre-populated name, email, and phone number, and click that button. And this is the easiest way. What I'm showing you right now is running a sold ad on Facebook. This is the easiest and probably the cheapest seller lead you're going to get. I do want to say time out. This is not the highest quality seller lead, but it is a good way of getting seller leads. And it's also a good way to market, because when you run an ad and it's sponsored by you and you say, hey, I sold this home, 2,000 or 3,000 people are going to see that one ad and they're going to realize you can sell homes. And that's really what you want to be telling the market as well, that you know how to sell homes. You might want to expand this, maybe not meaning the radius, like for the reach. It just depends on that neighborhood, that town. Is it relevant to adjacent towns? But what's important to know is, you remember I told you buyer leads cost $3, seller leads cost $7. So if you've got a $50 budget, you're only going to get 7 leads. 7 times 7 is 49. Okay. 7-day ad, expect 7 leads for a $50 ad. Okay. And you can just boom, publish. You could also do this. Click in this box up here. There's a lot of stories. I'm talking to realtors all the time. I had a person said, hey, in contract in 7 days. And then this one lady said, yeah, I got the listing after it expired and I got $20K above asking as well. And so these kinds of elements are going to make a homeowner stop for just a second and go, oh, wait a minute, this person knows how to do this, right? You might have had multiple offers, right? These are relevant data points that if you're doing an ad like this, I recommend you add before you publish. All right. If you want more than 7 leads, you can change that. You can change that to $100 and you're going to get 14 leads, maybe 15 leads. Okay. Going to be 7-day ad. Let's go back. That's sold. If you have any questions about these kinds of ads, let's do one more. I'm on seller leads here. Let me refresh this and make sure that doesn't. Yeah. So we have this page, which all leads, right? I think that agents think in buyer leads or seller leads. And so that's why I'm clicking on that. It's straightforward, right? And if I click on seller, if I click on create a Facebook ad, we already know that it's going to show me pending or sold, right? Anything that will generate a seller lead is going to be there. Also, if you click on create a landing page, you're going to have your free home value page. There's also all the property valuation plus. In the landing page section, which is over here, you can create all of any landing pages that you want. And I have one for Memphis, and I'm going to do this 2 ways so that you really understand. And this is where it gets difficult. If you're distracted, you want to really focus on what I'm going to tell you here, because there's an important 2 different ways that you can do this, and you're going to get 2 different kinds of results. First, I'm going to do lead ads, and I'm going to focus on Memphis, and I'm going to click create ad. And I created a landing page for Memphis. It's got this really cool honky-tonk street look here. And it says, what is your home worth? Recent homes. You could change this and say recent home sales in Memphis, right? Down below, it does say that below the red box have affected your home value, right? You could also say 20 homes sold last month. Sold in Memphis. And let me go back. I don't know the zip code for Memphis, so I'm just going to type in mine. Okay. If you type in the zip code of Memphis and make sure it's blue like that and click create ad, we're going to grab the sales data and we're going to pop it in there already. And because I did it before, it's not remembering properly. So I got to clear my cache, but it would actually put some numbers up there in that box where I was typing it myself. And you could type in Memphis and publish. This is a simple way of running ads on Facebook. And a lot of agents have been doing this for near 10 years. This can work for some people and it can be a waste of money for others, right? I do want to point out one thing though, because this kind of ad is so popular with realtors, and Facebook knows that realtors like listings, they charge the most for this kind of lead. This lead can often cost $12 to $15 each. So if you've got a $50 ad and you're going to generate 3 leads, maybe 4, right? And so if you convert 1 out of 4, now you're converting at 25%. And you know that is a high percentage when the average industry is 1%. Okay. But it happens. You put it out, it certainly happens. But I'm just letting you know like how many leads you're going to get for $50, right? There's also another thing, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to do one more ad here. And for those of you who live in dense areas of the country, click on seller leads, and let's go here and landing page. And I have a landing page for a town, right? Okay. And let's see if I can make this one in lead ads. And when I run the ad, this is the picture on my landing page that I created for Orinda. Now, you probably don't know Orinda, but it's got about 22,000 people. Okay. And it's a small town in the San Francisco Bay Area. And you would think that, hey, I'm going to run this ad. I'm going to type in Orinda because this is for Orinda, and I'm going to click publish, $50. I'm going to get 3 leads, right? But they're going to be people who live in Orinda. And that would be great for you to think that, but that's not the reality. You see there's radius here. It's a minimum 15 miles. 5 years ago, you could literally say, I need people to live in that zip code and I need them to be homeowners to see this ad. Then Facebook got sued by HUD and that has been taken away. So let me show you what that is going to do, right? What's going to happen if you run an ad like that. So we need to look at a map because Facebook told us it's a minimum of 15-mile radius. And what does that mean for me, right? If I want to generate seller leads in Orinda with Facebook, this little white area in the middle of this is Orinda. Okay. And this area that I'm zooming out on, that's about a 15-mile radius, maybe. Yeah, right about there. Okay. There's literally 1 million people in this map that you're looking at that don't live in Orinda, and they're all going to see this ad. And that is a problem. Okay. That's a problem. And that's why this ad often doesn't work well for people. It depends on where you are. That's why I say here, create a custom audience, meaning buy a list of homeowners in Orinda with more than 5 years equity. I listed the companies at the beginning of the call, then upload it in our system and call it Orinda homeowner. And then you target them. And now only those people see it, not the other 1 million that live around Orinda. Okay. But that's a home valuation ad. I'll show you where to create that custom audience in a minute. You can also create an ad for PDF guides. And if we click on generate seller leads, which we did, I think, and we click on create Facebook ad, it's only going to show us the PDF guides that generate listing leads. Okay. And it's pretty easy to do this. So let's do 12 mistakes to avoid. 12 mistakes to avoid in selling a home. Lead ads means name, email, and phone number. We write the ad. It's sponsored by your company. There's no city auto-populating. So you might need to type in the name of the town. Now, one thing to think of is this radius here. There's nothing in here talking about Orinda. If people see it in other towns, it's really not going to hurt. I still get leads, right? It's only when you're doing that specific Orinda, what is your home worth ad, that custom audience is necessary. Here, you can just go, boom, send it out. Now, I was talking to a lady who operates in Sunnyvale near San Jose here in Silicon Valley. And I want all my business to come from Sunnyvale, right? Now, there are towns like every 10 minutes around here, but she wants a lot of her business to be right there. I think she lives there, right? So if that's like you might want to get that custom audience for your favorite town and click this button and say, I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to do that 1 million people. I'm going to do my custom audience that I created. And you would name it whatever you want. I've got a custom audience here, but if it said Orinda homeowners and I just kept, or Sunnyvale or whatever town it is, you're just targeting the people on that list. So there are some of you where your business is evenly distributed between 5 to a dozen towns, right? There are others of you that 80% of your business is in one town and you like it that way and you'd like maybe 100%. A custom audience of those homeowners might be the way to go if you want to really target it. Okay. So for the Facebook story, we talked about getting buyer leads. That's easy. But for sellers, you can run listing ads, landing page ads, and PDF guide ads for sellers. Let's talk about Google. Okay. Now, I want to remind you, one, I think every agent's going to need to get familiar with Google, right? I know this. I talk to agents and offices all over the country, and let's just broad brush it. 30% of realtors have disappeared over the past 2 years, right? And maybe we'll lose more. And if you want to stay in the business, you're going to definitely have to figure out how to be competitive in listing. And Google is the number one website in the country. Okay. Number one. And if you want to run an ad on, hey, what is my Arinda home worth? Which is somewhere here. You click on the landing page, you click create ad, and we write the ad. Now, I'll tell you this, writing an ad in Google, if you log into their platform, is hideous. It's worse than Facebook if you know how to do it in Facebook. And I am so grateful that I do not have to teach you how to click around Google to run this ad, because all you have to do is say, hey, I want to do that landing page or that PDF guide, and I'm going to click publish. And that's it. You do have to type in the location, which is where you're targeting. And I do want to point out, we have a $50 a day budget. Okay. So if you were looking at the Facebook ad budget, we would put $50 for a week. But you need to know that the cost of Google ads are much higher than the cost of Google leads are higher than the cost of a Facebook lead. Both are set with an auction price. Again, if you have more competition, higher price, right? 7 days. I'll give you a couple data points. In Dallas, Texas, this kind of ad, just like this, that says location Dallas and what is your Dallas home worth? These leads cost $30 each, 30. In Western Pennsylvania, $22. In Utah, $17. And I've even heard 10 somewhere. I just don't remember what city that. So for you, I don't know what these leads cost, but you can run an ad and you'll find out very quickly what it's costing. That's why we started at the daily budget of 50. And I will say that I was reading something yesterday. A friend of mine's in Manhattan, and wild salmon. This might seem a weird conversation. Wild salmon in the grocery store was $45 a pound, right? 45, because everything in Manhattan is way more expensive. Cup of coffee is twice as much as wherever we are, right? That is going to be true for the cost of leads as well. And so a $50 a day budget might not even get you a lead in Manhattan. I can tell you this, if you run an ad just like this in Vancouver, British Columbia, on the west coast of Canada, these leads cost $200 to $300 US each. They have a very unusual market. They have a lot of cash buyers coming in from China, and those teams want that money, and they're bidding up the cost of the leads, right? I don't know where you're sitting, but those are the factors that you have to think about. Okay. So you know that you can run a home valuation landing page ad, and you know that you could also run a PDF guide. If you go in the Mastermind group and you look back 2 weeks ago, you will see some guy, I can't remember, I think his name was Tom. And he said, hey, I ran an ad on 12 mistakes to avoid on Google, and I got a listing. So he generated, I don't even know how many listing leads, but he can now, he converted one of those leads, right? He ran one ad just like this with that PDF guide, and he generates a listing, right? And that's on Google. So I want to point out, like, in case, I think everybody knows what Google is. If I go to Google, it's real boring. There's nothing there. And you might say, how do I sell my home? Or what's the cost to sell my home? Or can I sell my home? And notice there's these sponsored people. right? Sponsored ads. That's what we're talking about here. These ads are correlated to these words that somebody types in the box. Now, just for education's sake, if you click on advanced options, you'll see somewhere, what is this? Hold on a second. Oh no, that's Facebook. You'll see that in advanced options here for Google, we put in all kinds of keywords. We're doing this automatically for you based on what you're clicking on so that Google becomes very easy for you. I do want to point out the cost of a volume of leads is more expensive on Google, right? And I will tell you this because I do talk to a lot of agents, but I focus on teams and brokerages. And I've had one of the Remax teams we work with says they convert 1 out of 70 Facebook leads, but they convert 1 out of 40 Google leads, right? They're just that much better. They're more expensive, but they convert them, right? Another interesting data point, and maybe something that you want to think of when you're thinking of Google, is what is your income? What is your commission on a home that you sell, right? If it's $5,000, how much are you willing to invest in getting that $5,000? Maybe it's $1,000. You can see here, there are ways with Facebook and with Google and with print to get those leads, and they're going to have a budget. So you want to pencil that out. What am I going to do? What am I going to do on Google? What am I going to do with all that? And I'm going to remind you, if you didn't download and print these, there is a PDF guide under handouts for Facebook and Google ads, which we've been looking at. We looked at the beginning. There's also another one for top tools for more listings. And I'm just going to pop that open real quick and look at this, because if you want more listings, Facebook is one of those things you'd be doing. Google is as well. And we've been talking all about those ways, but also there's some print tools out here that are even more powerful with higher quality leads than Facebook. Are they more expensive? Does it take longer than clicking a couple buttons to run an ad? Yes. But you want business, you might want to look at our print tools and figure that out. This is a good time for questions. Yeah, here's a good one. Let's see here. What kind of interest and behavior should be included while creating and saved audience in Facebook? What is the best practice in creating a high performing audience? This is a great question, actually. I don't know how long you've been in real estate, but I did mention earlier, very briefly, that Facebook was sued by HUD. Now, HUD is an American Department of Housing, right? And so they slapped a lawsuit on everybody in the United States, and you can't actually use behavior or targeting. You can put in a few keywords, but I don't even get into that because here, and I don't know about Canada, but let's go to ads here, because I think we definitely have a lot of Americans there. Here, there is when you're running an ad, and I wonder if you see the same thing, actually, when you're running an ad on any of ours, these are all real estate related ads, right? So I'm going to say, hey, here's one for sale. And I'm going to say lead ads because I like pre-populated name, email, phone number. And when I click that, we are writing the ad. And down somewhere, I think maybe it doesn't say it. Let me click on advanced options. There's a button. If you go do this yourself on Facebook, you have to choose a special ad category called housing. And that blocks you. It blocks you, the agent, from doing any kind of special audience things that you're asking me about right now. Because all of our clients are realtors, we check that box automatically so that you cannot make that mistake. And it will not allow you to do all kinds of fun things. In Canada, maybe you can do more, right? And I don't even know what's available because it's been years since I've been seeing. So I'm not going to, dive too far into that, but it's a good question because a lot of people don't realize that they think you can target all kinds of which ways, which is why I've been saying, clients, go get a custom audience, go buy a custom audience, right? So there are companies like Remind.com that'll sell you a list of homeowners with equity. They'll even grade them. They like have some kind of weird method of saying this is more likely to sell. Frankly, I don't think that grading is worth anything. In the United States, the average length of homeownership is 7 years. That's the average. So that means some people sell faster and some sell later, longer. If you just get a list of homeowners with more than 5 or 6 years equity, that's going to be good. That's a good target, right? And you come over here to create an audience, this blue button up here, and you call it whatever you want to call it, Arinda Homeowner. Make sure the spreadsheet looks just like this. It says use this format. Titles column should be the same as well. So make your spreadsheet look like that. Upload it, import it. This will live in your Facebook account. Even if you stop working with us, we don't save this information. If you plan to be in real estate for a while and you want to build your own farm markets, I recommend you do this right away. You might have 4 or 5 farm markets. You want to, there's going to be a cost to get that listing, that list. Put them in there so that you can target those people, right? Remember, I said that there are some agents where 80% of their business comes from one town. If that's you, get that town, get that list, go to Remind.com, go to ListSource, redx.com, call your title partner. I think the best one I've heard of is a company called Cole Information Resource or Cole Resource. They're expensive. I think they cost $1,000 for the year, right? But you might want to find out, because if you can get these lists of a half dozen towns for $1,000, you want to do that. That to me, obviously, if you can find that same list with just for $50, you would want to do that for one list. But here's the thing. When you upload it to Facebook, and that's what we're doing right here, they're going to look at their name and their phone and their email. And if you use Facebook, you know that your name, phone number, and email are in there. So if you have all those data points in your spreadsheet, they're going to say, okay, that's part of their Arinda list or their Miami homeowner list or whatever, right? That's what makes Facebook really crazy powerful. And you, Akshat in Canada, probably cannot do this because you have really strict privacy laws on data or sold homes. So you may not be able to do this. For the folks in America, definitely you can find this stuff. If you're in South Latin America or the Caribbean, there's probably no company that even collates that about that. That's all I can think of. Is there anything else? I would say go to the dashboard, decide if you want buyers or sellers. Okay. And click on that button. And everything when it comes to ads is going to be teed up for you. What are going to generate seller. Even outside of ads, just marketing these homes. If I click on market listing for that pending, there's a dozen things you can do to get seller leads, right? So that's my point, is get into the dashboard, understand what is here, because we're just teeing up all the high quality tools for whether you need sellers or whether you need buyers on this one page. It's going to be very easy for you, right? Here are the PDF guides for sellers, 5 dangers of overpricing. That's probably relevant almost everywhere in the country. Click marketing tools. You can run an ad on Facebook. You can run an ad on Google. You can share it for free on social media. You can copy this e-flyer and blast it out on your CRM. You got print tools and you got postcards and door hangers, right? All these things are just auto designed for you. Use them if you want more listings. Okay. Thanks for joining me today. Pre-construction. Yeah. How can I promote a pre-construction project? That's a good question. There's 2 ways to do that. If you're working with new construction or pre-construction, go to your listings page and create a listing like a model home and run ads. And in the description, say, hey, this is pre-construction and we're ready for custom kitchens or whatever, right? You could put that in the listing and then run an ad just like I showed you, run an ad on Facebook, right? Or you might be working with a large development, in Texas, there's a lot of big developments And I know that our clients are out there talking to builders saying, hey, if I get a buyer, can I work with that? And if they say yes, go over here to new construction and click edit and make some changes to this page. Maybe change the background picture to one of their model homes. And where it says lead form text over here, change it to whatever the name of that development is, right? And whatever you change here and you save it, it's going to be showing up right on this page, right? And then once you go run an ad on that, it's going to have whatever data point you want. You can also, on these pages, there's a section called custom page content. You can snap in a video. You can put in bullet points. You can even embed a timer. So I don't know about you for your, what do you call it? New construction. Down here, I know that there's been some really wild things going on because builders are building and they're trying to get the things sold quickly. And they may have an incentive of, hey, we'll buy down your loan. We'll do this for 5% if you sign up before the end of the month, or we'll give you a new kitchen or whatever kind of custom nonsense. You can actually build a timer just like this one right here by just clicking a couple buttons, right? And then you could drive people to see this on Facebook or Google. That makes sense. Are we able to retarget those that have viewed a YouTube video? No, Suzanne, sorry. No, don't have that functionality. Are there any other questions? I know we're over the time limit, but I'm happy to answer questions. Send me a copy. Janice, I'm not going to be sending copies of this video to anybody. I'm going to send to everybody right now what I sent to all of you at the beginning of the call. And that is this link to this YouTube channel. All of you should have it. And it should be blinking in your GoToMeeting chat panel. This call is called Facebook and Google Ads. It will be right here at the top left, either today or tomorrow. And if you want to see any of the other classes that I do, which I did mention at the beginning of the call, here's another Facebook and Google here. And here's top tools for more listings here. And here's top tools for more listings down here. And here's another Facebook. Definitely get solid on your listing game. I think you know that. Look at all the ways that we have to do it. Not all of my calls are exactly the same. Okay. And that's why, especially on top tools for more listings, I recommend you watch a few versions of that. Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out with me. I hope this helped you. Don't forget to go to your account and go to the support page down here and ask them to get you in the Mastermind group. Just in that box, we've got a great support team that'll help you. And I'm doing another class on Monday. I don't know what it is, but it'll be, you can join me there if you want. Let's see here. You're welcome, Suzanne. Yeah. You're welcome, everybody. Take care, everyone.